What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to bring you guys my latest video, my Must Have Must Gag series. This is my series I created inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series. I always have her series and the community playlist linked down below, as well as all the Instagram pages that I follow to get all of this makeup knowledge. And lastly, but certainly not least, I always have all of the items listed and linked down below. If you click on a link down below that has an asterisk behind it, that means that it's an affiliated link, and I greatly appreciate you shopping through it. I do get a small commission, not at any additional cost to you. That said, no big deal. I am truly just happy that you are sitting here listening to me talk about makeup, because I love talking about makeup. Now, I do just want to give this bit of a disclaimer. These videos historically have been lately every 2 weeks. I'm going to be on vacation the Friday that this needs to go up, and I'm leaving the Tuesday prior. So I am filming this on a Monday, so there may be quite a few releases that I do not talk about in this week's video that, I literally did not have the content or the information to know to talk about them. But I still think that there is a good amount that we can still have a nice kind of thorough conversation together, especially when it comes to me, because you guys know I love to talk. So let's just go ahead and dive on in. As always, I am just going to scoot over so that you guys can see all the pictures of the products that I am talking about, and I won't really be referencing any of the makeup that I am applying throughout this video. So if you are interested in any particular product, definitely check out down below. I will have them listed and linked per usual. So first things first is something that I know a lot of people are going to be excited about, and it's another Summer Fridays product. Now, they just recently came out with lip oils, and to be quite honest, I haven't heard a lot of hype from them. I know a lot of people who really like the lip balms have at least expressed interest in picking them up, me included. I currently have quite a few different kind of balmy lip products in my Sephora cart, but I am keeping in mind my budget and all of that, and so that's why I haven't really pulled the trigger. That said, this is a new shade of their Butter Lip Balm. If you did not know, this was one of my favorite formulas of last year. And like I said, I do plan to do a roundup of a whole bunch of like balmy products. So I will kind of give you guys a ranking officially of, all the products that I've picked up. I just haven't sat down to do it. Plus, I'm getting a couple new formulas here and there, so that's why. This is a birthday cake shade, and it appears to be like a light pink with like gold sparkle running throughout. From what I can tell, the pinkness of this product is not super noticeable, so if you don't have like opaque lips, you can definitely get away with using this as just like an everyday lip balm. And of course, you have the nice little sparkle from the glitter or the sparkle that's running throughout the actual lip balm. I think that this is a perfectly fine color. It's just not a color that I think I need to add. I have now 4 of these, I want to say, and although I like all of them, do not get me wrong, it might have been the sun leaving, but I just added some more light. So although I like the color and the application a lot of these Summer Fridays, once again, this year, I truly am trying to be more conscious of my spending, and this just doesn't seem like something that I need to spend my money on. It's something that I would want, don't get me wrong. And I mean, you can make that argument on quite a few of these additional lip balms that I am bringing into my collection for this video and just for my personal intrigue. But at the end of the day, this is one that I know I can say no to because of the fact that I quite literally already have like 4 or 5 of this formula. This is something I am extremely excited about. So I don't know if it's going to be available. It should be available by the time this video goes up. And this is something that has actually stopped a video that I wanted to get up this month. I will probably still be able to get it up. It'll maybe be really late. It just depends on shipping and where I pick this up, because I believe it's available, or at least showing that it's going to be available at Sephora. LYS is coming out with cream blush lighters, and I really will say, for me, LYS is one of those black owned brands that is very, very stable. It's very, very dependable. And I like that. I like that the products are dependable, affordable, and consistent. So I really want to try this formula. It is a stick blushy lighter type formula, and I think some of the shades on my skin tone I might be able to get away with as a true like cream highlighter, and in that formulation I don't feel like I would have a problem trying them as a blush. I think they may not be the perfect kind of application method for me, but I'm still very, very eager to try them. I can't remember, and I don't have the particular image in front of me. Yes, I do. There's one that's like a dark kind of orange. It's Courageous. I definitely want that shade. That is definitely a me shade. And maybe one other. There are quite a few like barrier tones, so maybe like Outgoing or Unfazed. I think I would probably want one or two of, I don't know. I want quite a few of these. I'm very, very interested in this formula. And like I said, this will be featured, hopefully, if I can get it in time, it will be featured in this month's kind of Black History Month series. That said, it is a Black female owned brand. But regardless, it is definitely a brand that I want to showcase, and I can always showcase it next month. So there is that. This light is really going in and out every 2 seconds. So yeah, very, very excited about those. Cannot wait to get my hands on those. So Odins Eye recently came out with another collaboration collection with 3 YouTubers that they previously had already done a collaboration with. So that's the Fancy Face, Judy, and Annette's Makeup Corner. And each of them was able to do not only an eyeshadow palette for the springtime, but they also did lip products. And I think this is understandable. I'm sure that probably they think, it's smart to kind of contractually prepare to do at least 2 collabs with all of these YouTubers, and that's what I'm seeing a pattern with them. So I love it, because then, if this is your favorite YouTuber, or if you really love the palette that they already created once, hopefully that you can get at least one other palette from the brand that you're going to really like as well. So I actually really do like the concept of this, but when I actually look at the color scheme, let's dive in. So Judy's is the lightest of the 3. It's a very, very light color scheme, and I'm sure that's based on her aesthetic and her skin tone. She's significantly lighter complexion than me. Perfectly fine. It's just not a color scheme that I get any enjoyment even looking at, to be quite honest, let alone I'm sure I would still be able to get a beautiful look if I picked it up and all of that jazz, but just not something that I particularly want to get. So that's an easy pass for me. Then you got Annette's palette, and Annette's palette has a little bit of neutrals, which I'm honestly surprised about, but you have a couple of neutrals and you have quite a few kind of cooler fall tones or spring tones. And this is very interesting. I honestly wouldn't have expected Annette to do a palette like this. It seems a bit not her style, but I'm just so used to associating her with like extremely bright colors that's probably why I'm saying this doesn't seem like her. Either way though, once again, the depth and the range in this palette just isn't screaming to me personally. I can see that the green is probably going to be deeper than any other shade in the palette, but I'm just not loving the color scheme. The color scheme that was closest to really catching my eye is definitely Tina's. Tina's is of course darker skin friendly, because she of course has a darker complexion as well. And although her color scheme in her palette just catches my eye a tinge bit more, it's a tinge bit more neutral, which I've definitely been more gravitating towards, and there's more depth and there's just variety that I know I can get use out of. I think I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass completely on this collection. Last year, I want to say, I picked up the palette from Annette and Tina. And, you know, I was able to do content. I was able to enjoy them for a good amount of time. But they just didn't seem like the color schemes were not color schemes that long term. I get a lot of love having, you know, I love collecting Odins Eye's products. Do not get me wrong. I love comparing them, doing swatches for you guys, and just seeing like if a shade that they're coming out with in a particular palette is close or necessary compared to other shades that they've already released. So I absolutely love that concept. But once again, I'm trying to be more fiscally responsible and to get something where I'm not just falling on the ground for completely myself. It's just, it doesn't make sense. Okay, keeping it going, something I'm actually very excited with for, I mean, the level of excitement for this product is just sort of unmatched, I want to say, for this week. And this is the fact that Super Goop is coming out with a tinted version of their, I think this is their unseen sunscreen. No, they say that this is their daily SPF. So I'm wondering, I'm very, very curious what formula this is going to represent that is already in their collection. I can't distinctly remember if they already have a daily SPF like sunscreen, and if so, I'm sure that they're just putting color into that. But I'm so excited for this. This is perfect. I'm very, very keen to try this. I hate the price. It is $44. I absolutely hate the price, but I'm very, very keen to try this. It looks like it's a halfway decent shade range for a tinted sunscreen. Literally, it's not even, in my opinion, I wouldn't consider it a tinted moisturizer. I consider it more of a tinted sunscreen. And so yeah, the shade range isn't vast, but you're also, yes, you're putting a good amount of sunscreen on, but it's not so much that you're going to get like a blank canvas, if you will. So very, very excited for this. I know that this should be available at Sephora, and I want to say Super Goop is also available at Ulta. So, or maybe they're no longer in Ulta because this post is not referencing Ulta. Either way, it says that it's going to be available at the Sephora app on March 4th, on Sephora.com March 5th, and then of course in stores on March 8th. So very, very excited to get my hands on that. Super, super excited. Keeping it going, Huda Beauty has come out with 2 new 9 pans. And what I will say is her 9 pans, I think, are getting better. They started off being very, very bad in my opinion, but I think, you know, longer in the industry of being like a brand owner and creator and all of that, her palettes in general, the formulas are getting better. I'm sorry, I'm just like being generic. Her actual formulas are getting better for these palettes. That stated, I'm not interested in either of the color schemes, if we're being honest. Yes, I can see that they're cooler tones. I'm not really into cool tones. It's just not my bag. I've tried it. I've done it. I'm past it. So this is going to be an easy pass for me, which is always good in my current state of trying to just be more mindful of my spending. I don't necessarily have to worry about, you know, wanting to pick this up, because I don't. I really, really don't want to pick this up. And yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be that expensive. I feel like usually her palettes in this range are about like $29-ish, if that. Let's see if they have the price here. They don't say a price here, but they just say that it's launching on the 25th. So I'll be very interested to see who reviews this. I know quite a few YouTubers always review Huda Beauty. It's just not a brand that I keep up with a lot. I do love to collect some of her palettes though, because I will say her bigger palettes really have some great quality. Continuing on, Twoo Faces come out with a Disco Crush Eye and Face Sparkle. So they say that this is the most innovative glitter formula you've ever used. It's supposed to be a shimmering formula that feels weightless and looks ultra luxe. It's available in only one shade, which is Heart Eyes, which they describe as a warm rose gold sparkle. They don't state kind of, oh, it's a face and eye sparkle. So I'm sure you can use it like as a highlighter and as an eyeshadow, of course, as well. You know, I'm good. I like the concept of this being like more rose gold than straight up gold, straight up silver. I'm kind of, for me, I'm past that, and I do kind of want more rose gold type products. But you know, I don't need a shadow, and I'm sure that this is going to be somewhere in the high 20s, if not $30 range, and that's just no. I'm just not going to be doing that in 2024. Keeping going, Salt and Stone is now available at Sephora. And from what I can tell, this is a brand that does a lot of skincare and like self-care products. It makes perfect sense. I feel like the concept of self-care really became popular during 2019, 2020, right during the pandemic. A lot of people really started to either take care of themselves or see how they weren't taking care of themselves, and subsequently after have been, you know, striving to some effect to take care of themselves. So it makes perfect sense that Sephora is going to start bringing in a couple more kind of more beauty outside of makeup brands that can just give a little bit more robust catalog than what they had prior, because I feel like there was definitely a point where Sephora really focused on like the makeup, obviously, and of course they always had fragrance brands, but they're kind of non-fragrance, non-makeup brands outside of that, more not even outside of skincare, because even skincare they were always pretty good at, but they're like more self-care products. I think they were always lacking, and I definitely can see them slowly increasing those brands to keep them kind of relevant, especially when they're continuing to compete with Ulta and other kind of third market retailers that are just as popular as them, whether it's in the US or other countries. Thrive has come out with new colors in their mascara. So they have a green, purple, and a pink. I've never tried the Thrive mascara, but I recently was told, or I guess I recently saw on somebody's YouTube channel, they were talking about e.l.f., and I didn't even realize e.l.f. created like a dupe for this mascara. So that's very interesting. I'm assuming then that this mascara is definitely a very popular item, because e.l.f. does not really create dupes for things that are not popular. That's not going to, of course, give them revenue. So, you know, it's very interesting. But yeah, I've never tried Thrive, mainly because of the fact that you have to buy from the site, and there's never been something that's been so interesting to me that I felt like I had to buy from their site. Like, and that's the thing for me. Thrive has just never released anything, at least to date, that has really had me want to go to their site. And I find that now, with the amount of makeup that I have, and the various interests and other things that I have, you know, in my personal life, for me to want to buy from a direct brand, I'm gonna need something to really not force me, but intrigue me to buy from the brand. Otherwise, I can just buy from like these third party retailers where I can get multiple different products and, you know, only receive one package. And at this point, it's just a little bit nicer for me to have that situation happen than to get, you know, one item from here, one item from there, one item from everywhere. So, yeah, there is that. Okay, we're doing good on the makeup. I did just do a couple of things off camera, but mainly because my camera shut off. So keeping it going, Cali Ray is coming out with an eye corrector concealer. So Cali Ray is one of those brands that I feel like people either love or don't pay attention to. I feel like the brand really has hype within kind of their circle, if that makes sense. But outside of it, I feel like, you know, it's not really as loved. It's not really a brand that gets a lot of kind of viral products. I have one product from the brand that I actually really enjoy, and I actually recently just got my thoughts, and I'll be talking about them hopefully coming up very soon. But either way, I'm not really interested in this concealer. I'm not really a huge kind of tester of concealers, if we're being honest. As long as the product kind of slightly brightens up my face, conceals my darker under eyes, that's all I really want. And I don't have the kind of darkest under eyes. I don't really have, you know, the most complicated under eye in general. My under eyes are a little bit dry, but that's about it. So I don't find that like the concept of me testing out concealers is enjoyable to me or to you guys. So that long rant aside, that's not a product that I'm going to be picking up, but I definitely think that those who are very interested in the brand could potentially like that product. Patrick Ta is extending his range on his shades on a couple of his products, on some of his blushes and the blushes that have two tones, so both the cream and the cream and the powder, and on his glosses. So each formula is getting 3 additional shades, or no, the blushes are getting 3 shades and the gloss is getting 5. I think that this is smart. Once again, I always really like to see brands expand the range of products that people are actually enjoying, instead of kind of taking the time to bring out, I don't want to say unnecessary products, but just more products. I like that they kind of can extend it to allow those who maybe have wanted to try this product, but there's not been a particular shade or the perfect shade or whatever to get it. So I like the concept of this. These products aren't too like out of the ordinary price rise. The glosses are $26, which I think is somewhat reasonable for Patrick Ta, and the blush duo is $38. I don't think any of the blush duos are coming for me. Those are just not shades that I think are great. There is kind of a brown kind of coffee tone of the gloss now going to be available, and that I could definitely see me potentially scooping up. I do hear good things about his glosses, but I want to say the only good things that I do hear about those glosses are the ones that have glitter finishes. I don't hear a lot of people talking about these, like the more cream formula. So I'll wait. I'm sure there will be plenty of people who do reviews, and I will definitely be watching to see if what they're saying in their reviews and demonstrations is something that I actually want to see. Ensley Ray Cosmetics, I think, has finally released a palette that I'm going to pick up. So this is a really, really pretty palette, at least in my opinion. And this is called Groovy Garden. Now, they've been doing quite a few palettes in this kind of setup, and some of the previous palettes were extremely expensive. I want to say they were like in the 80s, if not higher. And you know, I understand why they do it. It's because they had like a lot of special shades in the palettes, but at the same time, I am not in a place where I'm gonna sit here and spend $80 on my first palette where I'm trying from the brand. So the fact that they came out with this palette, which is a lot more in my color scheme, it's a lot of neutrals, but it's like warm, grungy earth tone neutrals, which is definitely completely 100% up my wheelhouse right now. And it's 21 shades, 14 mattes, 5 multi-chromes, 2 shimmery duochromes, and it is $69, although you can apparently get a code. I'm assuming it's like an influencer's code, and it can drop down to $62.10. So I am very excited for this palette, like super, super excited. They have not talked about the launch date or any kind of additional information. If you follow even half of the YouTubers that I do on YouTube, you have already seen a lot of them post their videos. I particularly this time wanted to stay away from those videos because I really actually do want to pick this up. In the instances where I want to pick up a particular product and I've never tried the brand before specifically, I really try to, not actually receive reviews because I want to know my opinions on that particular product. So I am very, very keen to see how this is going to work, and of course hopefully I can fit it in my budget to get it on first launch, because I do know that this brand does tend to sell out, but if I can't, I will actively try to get it in their subsequent relaunches and hopefully review it for you guys, because like I said, I am very excited to see how this is going to apply on my skin tone. I don't think I've seen anybody of my skin tone use this palette or this brand in general. So it'll be very interesting to see how that kind of develops. Okay, I've already forgot the name, the pronunciation that somebody told me to do for this one, but I'm just gonna skip that because no. So this is Beyonce's hairline, and we're starting to see even more information about this hairline. I think we've also seen that she's going to actually have a brick and mortar, I'm assuming in Texas, which completely makes sense. And she's going to have a hair oil, a scalp scrub, a hydrating shampoo, a cosmetics bag, a moisturizing sealing lotion, a deep conditioner, a treatment mask, a shaking vessel. What is that? What is a shaking vessel? A double cleanse kit, a protein ritual, I'm assuming kit, a fortifying treatment, and you can get the whole kit and caboodle for $265. It will be available by the time this video goes up. I'm trying to understand, what is a shaking vessel? Why do you need a shaking vessel? Maybe some of her products you need to combine with like water or something. But like if you're doing something for your hair, I'm doing it in the shower. So ain't no shaking vessel for me. Anyways, I don't think that any of the prices on her products are completely unreasonable. If I'm gonna sit here and look at them, especially knowing how Beyonce can charge and seeing how she's charged for like her perfume and stuff, seeing these prices does not seem unreasonable at all. It's very interesting that she's coming out with all of this stuff now, and it's pretty much at the same time. I mean, she literally a couple of months ago just came out with the perfume. Now she's coming out with the hair range. I'll be very interested to see, you know, if she comes out with any other subsequent kind of beauty-esque lines this year, and how long they're going to purely stay on her Beyonce.com website. I definitely understand why. I mean, if you do that, you get 100% of the profits, and it makes complete sense. I'm just very curious to see if she will expand to other platforms. And if she does, you know, how all of those things kind of transition, because you know, from my perspective, I would love to see her add a little bit more bigger of a box store. That way I can potentially like smell the products, feel the products, all of that. But yeah, very, very interesting, very excited. And from the sounds of these products, these definitely sound like products that I could get use out of, specifically that clarifying soap, this clarifying shampoo and scalp scrub. Like that is something that my hair needs. It desperately needs. I don't need none of that moisture. Well, I could use the moisture on the actual hair, but my scalp needs the clarifying. So I like the concept of these products. I don't stock up on a lot of hair products in general. It's just not my thing, especially because lately I've been doing a lot of braids. So the need for that has really not been there. But maybe the next time I run out of my hair products, if I remember, I will try to, of course, try her brand and see how it goes for me. Of course, by then, I'm sure so many of the hair influencers will have already done their videos and already got their content up, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just, you know, going to try it for me and see if it works for me, because I have no idea. And, you know, I'm still slowly testing out Taraji's brand, and I'm really liking quite a few of those products. But I'm going to get off of that tangent and keep going. Basma, which they previously only had the one product, which was the foundation stick. That was a foundation stick. I mean, and it was a very high selling foundation stick because they stayed in Sephora, and that was the only thing that they had for a very long time, actually. But now they're coming out with their second product, and this is a cream blush. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually quite excited for this. I love cream blushes, and it just needs to be the right formulation, but not even just the right formulation. It needs to be in the right kind of packaging, the right vessel for me to get really excited. And I love cream blushes that are in a pan like this, where I can dip my brush in it and get as much product as I personally want. So I'm personally very excited about this. The shades look like they are going to work beautifully across all skin tones, which I love, except for like maybe the really light pink one. I don't think that's going to work for me, but that's perfectly fine. So I actually might pick up a couple of these as well. I didn't even realize these are already available. Have you tried them? Have you seen somebody test them out? I would love to know. I definitely think that these look, like I said, they look nice. They look like something that I would get a lot of use out of and enjoy. And so yeah, I think the one unique one would be either the cherry red, because it looks like it has a little bit of shimmer in it, or maybe the burnt orange. I think those would be kind of the only two unique shades from this range. And for me, I really just want to try the range's formula. I've not tried anything from the brand, and so this would be the product that would really get me to try them. And because they're in Sephora, like I said, it's a little bit easier for me to kind of take that plunge and try it for the first time. Then we see a very interesting collaboration, and this one is between Pat McGrath and Marc Jacobs. And yeah, like I said, it's a very interesting collaboration. Marc Jacobs Beauty, at least currently, are not being sold. So I find it very interesting that they're collaborating. Maybe they're prepping to do so. I don't even know the ties between Marc Jacobs Beauty and Pat McGrath, but there has to be some form of ties for her to do a collaboration. I've found that every time she does a collaboration, she has a tie to the organization by doing either makeup for them or something to that effect. And I'm sure you guys know, and you'll let me know in the comments, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't particularly need this. This is a red lipstick, not for me at all. I don't do red lipstick, so I'm gonna leave this to the red lipstick lovers, and I'm gonna stay in my little corner where I continue to just enjoy my browns. I'm very excited about this. Are you ready? Danessa Myrix is coming out with another shade in her palette. So last year, Danessa Myrix came out with this groundwork palette. It said defining neutrals, and that's exactly what it is. These are neutrals, which you can define your skin tone, your complexion, your eye, wherever you want. And she is coming out with another shade. Y'all, I'm really trying to do halfway decent on this eyeshadow, so that's why I'm not really focused, but I am so excited for this. I can't even tell you guys. Like, I can't tell you guys. I love my Defining Neutrals Groundwork palette. Love it to death. Now, I'm not positive if I'm going to get this like on first launch, if I'm going to spend my money. I have a couple of gift cards here and there on different sites, so maybe I'll use a gift card, but I'm very excited for this. I think that this is really smart. The only thing that can like hold me back, I just messed up. Of course I did. The only thing that would really hold me back from purchasing from this or purchasing this item is the fact that I don't wear a lot of pinks. I don't wear a lot of reds. So I'd need to see kind of the full color scheme and see it applied on somebody of my skin tone and my undertone to know like what colors I'm going to be getting, you know? Because that's going to be the real defining factor for me, is just what types of colors am I going to be bringing in? Because like I said, I'm really trying to be smarter. I'm trying. It doesn't always work, but I'm trying. So very, very excited about that. And we will see how it goes ultimately. Dolce & Gabbana is coming out with products, makeup products. So they have an eye and cheek palette. They also have waterproof eyeliners, and yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. Not for me. Absolutely not. I don't even have to look at the price of the products to know that the actual products just aren't for me. It's the types of products and how they're being implemented that I'm personally not a huge fan of, but I understand. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it for those who it is for and continue to enjoy what is for me, such as all of these beautiful, beautiful indie palettes that I get so much enjoyment out of. And we're almost done. I mean, we're fastly approaching the last item, and that is Natasha Denona. So Natasha Denona has revealed that she is coming out with a hyper natural face palette. In this face palette, you have eyeshadows, blush duos, and a bronzer and contour trio product. So it features 4 new Hyper Silk Powder Gel formulation eyeshadows that are infused with hydrating ingredients named after moods and occasions that can be used individually or together. And the product is going to be $62. It appears it's only coming in one tone, which is the factor for me that's going to tell me this is not for me. It's really that simple. Every time she comes out with a product where there's only one shade variant in it, I know that it's not going to work for me because it has not worked for me in the past. And when I'm looking closely at this product, yes, the blushes look cute. I actually kind of like the blush duo. I think it would have been nice for her to honestly come out with that by itself. The contour trio, I can already see is not going to do anything contour wise on me. That combination of colors might honestly be the perfect kind of under eye powder for me. It just doesn't look dark enough for my skin tone. And then looking at the eyeshadows, I will say the eyeshadows actually look really nice. I mean, of course, I'm most attracted to the one brown tone that is there, but that's it. That's truly it. I'm good. I'm good. So I'm going to just pass on that particular product and not worry about it for me. So I got a little bit left to do on my makeup because I was just talking way too much per usual. So let me just wrap up my makeup, get this all together, and then we can wrap up this video. So as I predicted at the beginning of this video, I feel like the one product that I was the most giddy about was really that tinted sunscreen. I don't think any other product really had me invigorated. I am interested in the Groovy Garden palette, don't get me wrong, but okay, 3 things: the Groovy Garden palette, the tinted sunscreen, and the LYS cream blush are the 3 things that I think I am most excited for and just eager to potentially pick up. I of course will always showcase to you guys all of the products that I pick up from, wherever I go and whatever I pick up, so don't worry about that. I will say just really, really briefly, I have not gotten around to doing a January roundup of all of my purchases, so I'll probably just do January and February because I lost time, and as I will be going out of town, I won't have the time to really film that video in particular. So just stay tuned. Hopefully that is still going to be an enjoyable amount of content for you guys, or let me know, maybe we'll just do quarterly. We'll see what happens. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.